Hey guys, how are ya? This is No Gym Needed, and we're back for another Dragon Ball What If. So I was thinking, what makes you a good guy or a bad guy in Dragon Ball? Basically, it's whether or not you're allied with the Z Fighters or not. But Dragon Ball's done really good on kind of blurring that line with people like Vegeta, Hit, and Beerus. So what I found very interesting in this What If is Cell is outside of those boundaries. He could care less about the Z Fighters now. Though Cell does often fantasize about absorbing 18. But don't we all? So, Cell went into the mystical fog to train. And now, we come in on a conversation between Langel and the Grand Priest Zamaha, also known as the only disciple of Zamala. What say you of the one called Cell, Langel, my pupil? I believe he's the prophesied one, based on the details of the report I gave you. Yes, I know you believe it, Langel. Your vocal frequency is as pure as the first snow of the North Galaxy in Universe 7. I, however, will need more verification. How? Langel asks. I will observe his fight against you, and take part. Take part? Langel knows what he means and smiles. I can sense he's mastered the fog. Go and fetch him. Let's start the plan. Yes, Zamaha-sama. Langel meets with Cell and tells him to prepare for their battle. Cell never imagined such a power even existed. So Cell re-enters the hyperbolic time chamber with the three top warriors, that is, Kerara, Raslo, and Clashers, and trains for a few months. When Cell emerges, he is ready to fight Langel. Langel asks, "Where shall we fight?" Cell says, "I made a ring while testing my power. You like it? It came to me in a dream." And they start to fight. Here we see the Grand Priest, 1 month ago. It was when Cell emerged from the hyperbolic time chamber for the very first time, clad in rainbow, and at this time his ki was immense, the greatest ki in the universe that's not God ki, and the Grand Priest senses it. He becomes intrigued as to why there's a powerful non-God ki user in the Cymekian dimension. He wonders if he should pay them a visit, but Langel is there, and it could get quite ugly. Then Cell's ki disappears. That's when Langel implants God ki into him. The Grand Priest is considering whether there's any potential threat or if it's totally harmless. Now back to the Cell and Langel fight. They start to fight, and Cell is doing good, but Langel's just warming up. He raises his power, and so does Cell. They're getting more intense. Then out of nowhere, Cell disappears. "Where'd he go?" Langel asks. Then, bang! Langel is sent flying. What the? He turns around, and there's an enhanced rainbow dragon beam about to hit him. 1,000,000 times, chameleon dragon kamehameha! Langel tries to dodge, but he loses an arm. "The hell's going on?" he says. Then, from the ground beneath him, Cell grabs his foot. He tries to pull away, but then he looks above him, and there's a rainbow dragon, Kamehameha, coming for him. He kicks his foot up. It's just Cell's arm! And one-armed Cell is above, ready to attack. Langel says, "I don't know how you did it, Cell, but you've become strong. I can't dodge." Then Langel starts to change, and an ominous purple aura starts pouring out of his skin. To think I'd need to use my God of Destruction form. How long has it been? He erases Cell's attack, and they keep fighting. Let me go back a little and show you how Cell pulled that off. He knew he couldn't instant transmission normally, but he knew that's something they've never seen him do. So if he could find a way to instant transmission, he could use that to his advantage and take control over the flow of the fight. So he took a metal rod and infused a ton of normal ki into it and planted it in a good spot before the fight. And when he and Longel were in position, he instant transmissioned and punched Longel. Then, taking advantage of his surprise, Cell charged a Kamehameha as quick as possible and got Longel by surprise. He also threw a rod through the attack into the ground right below Longel. Then, while Longel processed what had happened and his missing arm, Cell instant transmissioned just his arm to the rod beneath Longel and grabbed his leg. I speculate Cell could have done this by either having the ability to move severed limbs, like we've seen in the show before, or by telekinesis. Now, when Longel looked down, Cell jumped above him and charged his attack. The attack that forced Longel to go into his God of Destruction form in order to erase it. Now let's get back to the fight. Longel regrows his arm, as does Cell. Then Cell becomes clad in rainbow again. It seems this form can negate the Hakai energy. So they fight for many days and nights, and although Longel has the upper hand most of the time, Cell's very clever and seems to get close to a win. It ends in a tie. Then Cell honestly comes to respect Longel a bit, not just because of his power, but because Cell realizes how similar they are, and how they all want Cell to get stronger, how they need him. Cell has found a place he belongs, and a purpose, if he accepts it. Then all of a sudden, Cell is face to face with the Grand Priest. "Hello, Cell. I've heard a lot about you." "Where am I? Where'd Longel and everyone go? What'd you do to them?" "They've been erased. I got tired of their stubbornness and always holding on to hope. Now, Cell, it's your turn. I sense a troublesome power growing in you, and I cannot let it continue to develop." "Just try and stop me." Cell roars, and powers up to rainbow clad. He charges the Grand Priest. Then the Grand Priest flicks his finger, and Cell's arms are erased. "That's not a problem," Cell shouts, and goes to regenerate, but nothing happens. "No, Cell, they've been erased. Just like your legs." Cell looks down. His legs are gone. "No, this can't be. How can you be this powerful?" "But something's not right," Cell states. "What's that?" "Longel fought you toe to toe, I heard. And now you just wipe him out in an instant? That would make you Zeno-sama. And I know you're not. Also, my rainbow clad should give me some protection from your energy and attack." Then light. Then Cell sees Longel, and everyone. "As I thought. Just a vision," Cell states. "You've done well, Cell," says a voice. "Who's there?" Cell asks. "Zamaha-sama," everyone says as they bow and prostrate themselves. "Cell, the test to come will be greater than any before. I know much about the Grand Priest, his fighting style, and magic. For the next training, it will be in my illusionary realm. You will fight angels, demons, the Grand Priest, and Majins." So Cell fights them for many months. If you die in the illusions, you die for real. So it was extremely intense training. But Cell got stronger and emerged victorious. Now the Grand Elder will tell everyone the true secrets locked within Cell, and how to leave this prison, and what to do when everyone breaks free. First, "Cell, how do you think you got here?" Zamaha asks. "I scanned for Ki as far away as I could sense from Earth, the planet I was on, and ended up here. Don't you think that's odd, since the Ki we use isn't sensible to most beings?" "Yeah, it's really strange. The Ki you sensed was a footprint, so to speak." I'm taking the term from the so-called carbon footprint that we have in real life. "It said Zamala's Ki trail he leaves behind him filled the universe with life, prosperity, and strength. Wherever he goes, he leaves a trail of ultra-divine Ki. And as time passes, It gradually breaks down, gets diluted with cosmic rays and dark matter, and becomes the type of key you used when you first came here, Cell. But somehow, when you traveled to it, you got propelled all the way here. I suspect Zamala-sama used his foresight to see you'd come, and made it so that when any being with our DNA interacted with his key print, it would teleport you here. And he also seems to have imparted to you some of his own energy. I believe this to be the case, since you were written of in the Book of Prophecy Zamala-sama left us, and now I see you face to face. I have no doubt. I can sense traces of my master's energy in you. With each color you unlocked another fragment of his energy he left in you. They are directly correlated to your power level. If you unlocked them, for example, when you first came here, you'd have died instantly. Cell, it seems there's one more fragment left to unlock. Then you'll achieve the form that can allow you to lead us all to freedom and revenge. I fear the Grand Priest may already be onto us, so we must make you powerful enough to unlock your true and final form. So they go back into the hyperbolic time chamber, just Longel and Cell, and they train harder than ever while they're in there. Cell asks Longel about his fight with the Grand Priest, and how it even came about, and why, where, when. Cell's more curious than he's ever been before, and that surprises even himself. He's usually so cold. Finally, he's found something to make him feel alive. So Longel opens up. It was back in the beginning of creation. Zamala-sama thought for us to get to know each other and really understand each other. We could all train and then show our skills in a tournament, a majestic, grand tournament of power. At this time, it was just the angels and Symekians, as well as Zamala-sama. Zeno wasn't even around back then, and there was only one universe as well. Now, Zamaha-sama and the Grand Priest were trained by Zamala-sama himself, while I was trained by Zamaha-sama. He told me Zamala-sama spoke a lot in illustrations, and feared the Grand Priest understood them better than he did. However, Zamaha-sama never became mean or looked down on me, and I could tell how much he loved Zamala-sama. However, the Grand Priest became prideful and smug, always talking down to Zamaha and the rest of us, strictly training the angels, conditioning them to not feel any sympathy for others, and to never feel sorry for the weak. Zamala-sama's training shows people their good and bad qualities, but the bad qualities, pride, power, grandeur, have a deceptive way of making you feel strong, and the good qualities, like humility, peace, love, they have a deceptive way of making you feel weaker than you truly are. Well, the Grand Priest chose a path, and Zamaha chose one as well. When the tournament came, there was so much bad blood between Zamaha and the priest that Zamaha gave up right before the first punch was thrown. That was his way of winning, so to speak, and he said he knew I could beat the priest. I fought with all I had as the first god of destruction. I had a reputation to uphold. It felt like he was always ahead of me, but when I started to catch my groove, and I was getting past his overpowered barriers of creation techniques, and I got a hit on him, he got really angry. Extremely angry. And he started acting weird. I saw another opening and punched him again, but he didn't even notice it. Then his appearance drastically changed, and he transformed into a berserk form, devoid of reason. Zamala-sama then said something I'll never forget. Where there exists something in light, it casts a shadow. The greater the light is amplified, the more layers the shadow. I eventually called out for help, and Zamaha and the other Symekians lent me their energy and I summoned a huge ball of divine energy and threw it at the Dark Priest. He couldn't handle all of our energy and was purified from the darkness. Even though it was said that I won the match, I didn't feel I won the tournament. But Zamaha-sama told me that was the true path. Don't be afraid to ask others for help when you've done everything you can to help a friend who's gone too far. He said the match showed him he really did understand Zamala-sama's teachings properly. The Grand Priest seemed very ashamed of his actions and thanked me, but that's when he started looking for a way to do away with us all and take over the universe. We know that in hindsight. Now, Cell, let's continue training so you can unlock the final fragment that will unite all of what Great God Zamala imparted to you. After more training, Cell powers up further, but no changes. So they try to leave the hyperbolic time chamber, but they can't. It seems the entrance has been destroyed. What's going on? Just then, Longel falls to his knees. Longel, get a hold of yourself. What is it? Cell says. It's the Grand Elder. He's passed. I can feel it. Cell, this is bad. He's been killed. And I feel it was none other than the Grand Priest. He may have sensed your key at some point and came to investigate. However, when he noticed I wasn't there, he probably saw it as an opportunity to silence us once and for all. If only I was there, Longel shouts. Cell thinks to himself, that Grand Priest character thinks a lot like me. He's definitely a dangerous individual. I'll make him pay. That's all I care about now. I've been robbed of everything, Longel says. My God, my freedom, and now my very people. Cell goes, I also want to finish this character. You know, Longel, it's funny how ambitions can be so ambiguous. When I first was created, I just wanted to kill everything and rule the universe. But I had no clue about gods or deities or any of that. Now I see the one standing in my way is also your enemy. However, I never would have gotten this strong if it wasn't for the teachings of Zamala influencing you all, and the energy he gave me. I'm not sure if it's in my programming to be grateful or not, but I know the fear of dying. Saffron helped me with that. Yeah, I remember that alright, Longel says, and they both laugh a little. I feel Zamala is foolish to have allowed the Grand Priest a second chance. He may come to regret helping me get this strong too. But if he does have that much power, I want to meet him. So fighting the Grand Priest is inevitable. Once we get into the multiverse, we'll be sensed quickly, and angels will be dispatched to get us. Or maybe the Grand Priest himself will come. Longel, you're the first being I've ever respected. Well, second after Saffron, but I'm stronger than her now.
Whether or not our reasons are different for wanting to take out the Grand Priest or not, we have the same goal. I will work together with you in order to beat him. Cell, since the moment you arrived here, Longel says, we could sense your killing intent. You couldn't hide that from any of us. And you were so weak. But because we were waiting for the prophesied one, we trained you. I know what kind of being you were, Cell. But Zamala's energy is now a part of you. You've become more than just a killing machine. I'm not going to say anything sweet or familial, Cell, but I'm grateful for your offer. Don't fight the Grand Priest only for ambition's sake. To beat him, you will need to unlock the final fragment of Zamala-sama's energy that is within you. As of now, we don't know how. It may require a mental shift or a spiritual shift. All the rest have required physical power-ups, but you said you thought Zamala was foolish to trust the Grand Priest after what he did. So, can you blame him for not trusting you if there is some sort of spiritual lock on this final form? But Cell, I'm sure you'll unlock it somehow. I don't know what to say, except, how are we gonna get out of here? So, Cell and Longel look for a way to get out of the Room of Spirit and Time, since the door has been broken. And I hate to say it, but they used the screaming technique. They're much stronger than Gotenks and Super Boo, so they used it, and it worked. So it connects them to the other side of the door, and what they find is nothing less than shocking. They are not surprised, however, but everyone's been killed. Then, movement. Who's there? It's Saffron! Saffron, speak to me! Hang in there! The Grand Priest. Cell, you're our hope. Please, take this. And thanks for saying it was pretty. Saffron dies. Cell is left just holding her ribbon. He remembers their fight. Why? Tell me, Longel. The Grand Priest is strong. He defeated Zamala and trapped you all here. So why? She just wanted a boyfriend. She didn't have to die like this. Cell, Longel says, do not forget you were the same way when you came here. But because you confronted your weakness, almost died, and trained alongside her, you changed. How you choose to change is up to you, and your experience is yours alone. Cell, can you get us out of here? Longel asked bluntly. I don't know. I don't know how. I can't sense any key like I did when I came here. Any ideas, pal? Cell asked Longel. I may know the key to unleashing the final fragment within you, Cell. Longel says. Seriously? What? The Book of Prophecy. It mentions the Savior would be a renegade being, full of animalistic tendencies. But it also said, before freedom lays destruction. Before a departing, a coming together. And before release, fusion. Cell, think about your feeling toward this people. You would have died if you stayed on Earth. If not by the Saiyans, then by Majin Buu, or the current god of destruction, or the Grand Priest. You would have died here if you weren't so calculating. And if Zamala didn't give you those fragments. Cell, you're no longer bound by your creator's intentions, and have now been put in a place to be the savior of this universe. Which will you choose? Cell thinks for quite a while. Imagine if Vegeta didn't let me absorb 17. I would have been toast. Pride is not worth anything in a life or death situation. It's more important to gather information and assess the situation. I've been here for years. I'm not like I was back on Earth. I'm not about to swear an oath of peace, but maybe I can understand why Vegeta, although still a warrior, protects those Earthlings. I wish I was here to protect Saffron. I'll answer Longel. Longel, before I answer you, tell me something. What makes you and I different? Longel responds, I suppose it was the fact that I see and hear things, ponder their implications, and act as I see best. You, on the other hand, when you first came, you just wanted to kill and gain power. But I feel you've changed drastically. I have a people, a heritage, and a history, something that you did not have, but Cell, now you do. And you yourself have become an integral part to our history, as well as our hopes and future. I guess the main difference between us at the moment, Cell, is I have chosen to protect my people. When you have things to protect, you become truly strong. Cell says, if we free Zamala, you think he'll give us a wish or two? Something to protect. Hey guys, this is No Gym Needed, and that was the part. I hope you enjoyed it. There were some fights in it, a lot of monologues, some crazy stuff happened, and it's just Cell and Longel now. Let me know how you think it's gonna go with the fight between the Grand Priest and Cell. You know it's gonna happen. Let me know what role you think Longel is gonna play in all this, and just let me know what you think about it in terms of the lore and the universe that we're making here. And let me know any ideas you have for the next part. And yeah, it's really interesting. It sounds like Cell found a place in his heart for Saffron, and it sounds like he's not happy that she got killed. So who knows if that's gonna change him, and it seems like he wants to try to make a wish on the Super Dragon Balls. So I wonder what that wish is gonna be, if he can make that wish, of course. Alright guys, this has been another What If Cell Didn't Fight the Z Fighters. Let's go for 30 likes. If I get 30 likes on this video, you can guarantee there will be a next part.